Morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rag Plays Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Fresh start, new recording session, and let's start the day off right by reading that journal entry that we missed last time. I believe it was the one about the Sandral Matali feud. Shen and Rahasia met outside the Sandral estate, but were ambushed by Alan Matale. Shortly thereafter, Nurik Sandral showed up as well. You managed to convince both fathers that this match was for the best and that Shen and Rahasia are allowed to stay together now. They thanked you profusely and walked off with their families. A happy ending to last week's episode now. Not really last week, I suppose, the last couple days. Anyway, what do we do in this episode? We have to head over to the Crystal Cave for a roleplay session with Bastila to kind of kick off the romance right, I suppose. It's one of the things that's always sort of bothered me with KotOR's romance subplot with Bastila in particular, is that it kind of comes at a left field, so I kind of have to contrive reasons why they would get together. So we'll solve that problem. I think, though, we're going to swap out Canderous and actually, tell him we'll meet up with him later. We're just we're going to do Jedi stuff right now, so let's remove him from the party and add T3. I think that'll be nice to have a boy, a girl, and their droid together again. He does kind of look like a puppy, doesn't he? I've actually not used T3 since Terrace. Where the hell? Right, so we're going this way and then all the way to the end. Let's go and do that. Come along, T3. So, beautiful sunny day on Dantooine, as it always is. I always kind of wondered what KotOR would be like if it had some weather in it. It'd be pretty neat. We could try out our new Force Choke right now, which might be a plan. I'm going to get close to it first by... No, that. Force Jump. Okay, now hold it. Let's do a choke. Nice. Easy peasy. You gonna be alright in this terrain, buddy? You kinda almost tipped over there. Anyway, let's go. I do ever so love Dantooine. I shall be sad when we are no longer here. Right. More standing stones. I don't suppose those were stood on their own. It must have been the original inhabitants of Dantooine, though I don't remember what species was on this planet originally. I thought it was the... Wait until this combat is over to finish my thought. Ooh, level up, sweet. I thought that it was the Killiks, which are sort of like these ant people, but I was thinking of Alderaan, actually, not Dantooine. Which you could see why I'd confuse those, considering they're kind of both mentioned in the original trilogy around the same time in the movie. Anyway, T3, let's level you first. Dead neutral, as a droid should be. Level up. Skills. We've got 5 points here, so 1, 2, 3, and awareness. Okay, feats. Yeah, T3 does not get many feats, but his feat table has been fixed. In default, he used to be able to max out his weapon proficiencies, which was better than HK, which didn't make any sense. It's because they were using the improper feat tables. I think I mentioned that before. I don't know what I want him to actually use, though. He doesn't have many things available that are all that good. I can't do that yet, and I think we get that for free anyway. I think, probably those at some point. Probably not Caution, because it doesn't benefit him a whole lot. Could do his a +1 attack bonus with blaster pistols. We could do... I'll probably do this because it'll be the best he can be with 2 weapons. Yeah, that's fine. Except he has another level up. Level up twice. I didn't even see that he had a level up originally. Okay. Skills. 1, 2, 3, and we have 1 left over, so I'll just stockpile it, I suppose. Accept. And there he is, our little buddy. If he gets another attribute point, I'm going to put it into dexterity. Bastila leveled up as well. We'll level her up. Skills. Right, so... Like I said, this really kind of annoys me that I'm going to have to rely on other people. You know what? I'm not going to do treat injury and awareness anymore. They're both at 10. I'm going to start putting in computer use everything, because even if it reduces our spikes just a little bit, it'll be better than nothing. And I think of all of the other skills that she might be good at, it'd be computer use. She'd be taught how to browse the archives in the Jedi Temple and whatnot. Lots of options here that we can pick. I don't know if I want her to be a buffer, but she's kind of a mixed bag as Bastila, because she's a sentinel, so she does both offense and defense, and I almost regret maybe picking some of these other ones. Could give her stasis field. I'm gonna try not to abuse that power because it's very, or stasis rather. It's pretty overpowered. Yeah, that's fine. I'll give her that, and I accept. You know, if I really don't like the way that my skills are tooled, I can always retool them in the editor anyway. So that's fine. I just like her to get another attribute point so I can bump charisma or something like that. Get her to 18, and then I don't know what else she needs to be at an even modifier on some of these, but yeah. Anyway.
Sure.
It's too bad that Reno Romano didn't voice all of the main PC's lines. He just did the commands.
I'm here.
Yes?
This voice. But he did the voice acting in... I want to say one of the Batman cartoons is what I remember him from most. The one that came out in the mid-2000s. So I guess he might have been kind of occupied when this was going on. But here we are, the Crystal Caves. Turn on my trusty tablet to give me my lines. I don't know what I'd do without this thing. Alright, so...
Sure.
I guess we better go and see if the place is actually clear of enemies before we get to the role play, because I don't want to be with battle music right in the middle of the thing. So Bastila will be most excited by this place. She's never been here before, so that's what we're going for. And there will be a purpose to us bringing her here, in terms of my own sort of roleplay and to the narrative itself. Aside from that, there's things that we have to know that I have no business of knowing as a character, so that has to be resolved. It looks like that none of the Kinrath have respawned. There are no Mandalorians, so... Now that the cave has been safely cleared, Mack will instruct T3 to go back and tuck himself against one of the walls near the entrance of the cave, and holler if there are any intruders. As you never know when the Mandalorians might be back, and this cave was also occupied by Kinrath, so it'd be a good idea to post a sentry somewhere at a site near the entrance. Maybe like right here somewhere. Against here. Ugh, invisible walls. Can't get away from them. I guess this will have to do. It's not really out of sight, but you know, best I can do. So with T3 out of the way, they're finally left alone together in the main cavern. Soon Mack begins to see Bastila's face light up, with wonder at the riot of colors emitted from the crystals, reflecting off the surface of the water and dancing on the ceiling above. It It's certainly a relief to know that she doesn't seem to mind getting her hands a bit dirty if it means taking in one of the most beautiful sights on Dantooine. A few moments pass, and he will ask her to hold out her hand and close her eyes, because he has a surprise for her. Curious, she complies with this request, and one by one he places 3 lightsaber crystals into her palm. The first, a pale rubat crystal. The second, a jagged bondar crystal. But the third, upon revealing the third, Bastila recoils from him, and her smile turns into a look of suspicion as she gazes down upon a small crystal pulsating with an inner red light. Seeing her distress, Telemachus hesitantly offers, You don't have to use it if you don't want to. I just thought it was pretty and you might like it. She pauses, then steps closer again and puts the crystal back in his hand. I can't keep this. It's forbidden. The Council banned the use of red lightsabers after the war with Exar Kun because it symbolizes a Jedi who values their passion. At this, he begins teasing her, because he really doesn't understand what the big deal is. I mean, Force Bastila, you can't be serious. It's just a color. It's just red. It doesn't have to mean anything. Suppressing her own laughter, she's going to try and tell him, it isn't funny. This is serious. And he continues to mock her in a core accent. Oh, it's serious business. The Council should be most cross. You don't understand. It's the bad color. Come on, Bastila, just take it. For me, nobody has to know, and there may even come a day when you'll need it. She hesitates for a moment while he playfully levitates it in front of her, until she eventually relents. Oh, very well, I suppose admiring one red crystal merely for its beauty won't do any harm. Besides, he says, banking on her vanity, even if you were to wield it, no one would even notice when its allure is so easily eclipsed by that of its bearer. Bastila will let out an audible ugh at this as she rolls her eyes and snatches the crystal out of the air, quickly burying it away deep in her bag where no one will ever find it. So Mack is satisfied with this outcome, awakening Bastila to the joys of materialism, at least until he finds out that he gave away a crystal that had the potential to stun enemies, and Bastila will happily tell him that when he asks her. So, Bastila, what do these crystals do anyway? Never really got a chance to study up. Skipped the Jedi geology classes. So now that Mack is done flirting with Bastila, she'll be more than happy to tell him all about lightsaber crystals and the grave error that he just made in giving her the Bondar crystal which stuns. Let's go ahead and upgrade those. As sort of a representation of what they're doing in the cave, disassembling their lightsabers and tweaking them to improve their damage output. So we have a base max lightsaber, 2 to 16 damage, a 19 or 20 is a crit. We will upgrade it with a single rubat crystal since we have 2 of those. That bumps the damage, 1 minimum and 1 maximum, to 3 to 17, and then an attack modifier of +1 on top of that, so we'll assemble that. And Bastila's, we will upgrade hers. Base is 2 to 20, and she crits on a 20. For twice as much damage, I believe that's how it works, and she will get also a rubat crystal. And the Bondar crystal. So, her damage has been bumped up to 3 to 21. Critical is still on a 20, but on hit, she stuns, 25% chance for 6 seconds, DC 10 to beat it, so it's not going to happen very often, but when it does, I'm sure it'll be useful. And she's much appreciative of the present that he's given her, because he's rather surprised that the Jedi Council never gave her any crystals, considering how important she is, and he's going to rectify that. He doesn't think Bastila should go without the best protection that he can afford her, definitely. So most of his best crystals will be going to her, or at least the ones that he thinks she'll be able to make use of, or any that she finds herself, I suppose. And subsequent crystal finds, she'll be more than happy to tell him about as well. So we'll assemble that, and I will be back in the cave right after these messages. So we're back in the crystal cave, and Bastila and Telemachus have finished assembling their lightsabers and attuning their crystals. All is well again. I think before we head out of here, we're actually going to have a real conversation with Bastila, because we actually haven't spoken to her at all since we've arrived on Dantooine, and probably should do that. Bastila?
How can I help?
I want to talk about that dream. We never really discussed it in depth.
It was less of a dream and more of a vision the two of us shared. But I am certainly willing to answer any questions the Jedi Council did not.
I still don't understand why we shared this vision.
Are you wondering why we shared the vision? Or why we even received it in the first place? To the first, I can only repeat the answer that the Council gave us. Our fates are linked. And for two as strong as we are in the Force, that amounts to a near-physical bond. As to the second, I truly don't have an answer for you. The Force works as it will, and perhaps we should be grateful for what we've been given.
But how did our fates become linked? Surely these things don't just happen by accident. Why me?
I don't know. Believe me, I certainly don't find the prospect of being joined to you enjoyable in any fashion.
Well, thanks a lot.
Please, forgive me. I did not mean to imply that you were repulsive in any sense of the word. That we shared something so personal is just not something I'm used to.
It just seems a little convenient.
The Force often seems to cause events that bend the laws of probability, especially with those that are strongly affiliated with it. In this respect, you and I will simply have to become accustomed to such convenience. We are the tools of the Force, and we will do as it wills.
So we have no free will of our own, then? Not sure I believe that.
Quite the contrary. Ours is the ultimate free will. The Force is our destiny, but the choices we make along it are ultimately our own.
I see. I have another question.
What would you like to know?
So why did we dream of Mack and Revan?
Perhaps because we desired to. Perhaps because they came to this planet and were strong enough in the Force to leave a trace.
Well, I certainly didn't want to dream about them.
That would not be my first choice either. But choice appears to be irrelevant in this matter. We dreamed about Revan and Mack either because we were meant to or because we needed to. There is no other way to look at it.
What do you think Mack and Revan were doing?
I have no idea. It was obviously important, however. That is why we must investigate this further.
I'm not sure I like the idea of you being in my dreams.
And are you so certain that it is not you in my dreams?
Are you saying you're dreaming of me? Uh-oh. I suppose that's possible. I'm pretty certain, yes.
I see. That is most likely vanity speaking, for I am not certain myself. Regardless, our fates are linked. The vision was no doubt meant for us both.
Do you think we'll receive more of these visions?
With luck, we will. I would rather not rely on such visions to guide us. But when we have so little else to go on, and the galaxy hangs in the balance...
That's all I wanted to know.
As you wish. We really should return our thoughts to business anyway.
Actually, there is one more thing.
How can I help?
So, what do you think of Dantooine, anyway?
Dantooine is a peaceful and pastoral planet. There are a few large communities. Mostly what you will find here are ranchers and farmers. I find it a tranquil place like few in the galaxy. The perfect site for the Jedi Enclave. You'll like it here.
That's all for now.
Then I suggest we move on.
So we learned a little bit about these visions that we've been having, and yeah, Telemachus doesn't get it at all. He doesn't quite understand why the Force linked him to Bastila. Like, he's still assuming that it was because of the crash. And maybe they're, I don't know, maybe in the stress of the situation, she had the mercenaries, him among them, on her mind, so maybe she forged some sort of connection. He doesn't know. It's a bit above his pay grade. He knows how to use the Force, but he's still kind of, he's skeptical of the whole destiny thing, and he's coming around to their way of thinking. He also seems to be a lot stronger whenever he's near Bastila, and he's happy with that. He enjoys her company, and he'll be looking forward to more talks with her about the Force, and hopefully they can puzzle this out together, because she doesn't seem to know either. And well, she's just a Padawan. He's placing a lot of questions on her, and just, I mean, hell, this is new to all of us. Go ahead and turn solo mode off. Radio T3, see if he comes to us, or see if the AI is broken after this long. I think I hear him. Come on, T3. Come on. There you go. Haha! Where are you going? Ah, taking the long way around. Gotcha. So, not a very pleasant place to have a conversation right next to a decaying body. I guess we would have dumped that somewhere, or dragged it off, maybe buried him even. Like, what do we do with all the bodies of the people that we killed? Do we just leave them? I suppose so. Like, we don't have any. We're not really scrupulous about that sort of thing. We're a mercenary. Anyway, so right. Last, before we leave this cave, I took the liberty of creating Bastila's crystal here, her red lightsaber crystal. Upgrade item: lightsaber, blade color is red. The description: an exceptionally beautiful crystal given to Bastila Shan by Mack during the Jedi Civil War. It glows radiantly with an inner red light. I pretty much just took a crystal, a red crystal, and customized its descriptor. And it doesn't actually work in lightsabers, unfortunately. I just couldn't be arsed to script all that out, or to fuck with the 2DAs to get it to work. Essentially, if I want it to be the same, it doesn't give any bonuses or anything. It just gives, you know, it's just the same as a red crystal. So I just stick a red crystal in her saber if I ever decide to give her that, or if she ever decides to use it herself. We'll see. But for now, she'll be sticking to yellow. I like her with a yellow saber anyway. And I've pretty much kept everybody default saber colors for all the times I've played this, and I don't think I'll be changing that trend. So, let's get out of this damp cave. Yeah. We have work to do. We have to meet up with Canderous first of all, outside of the cave. We'll swap T3 out. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to take a look at T3's items and see if I can put anything good on him. Medium plating type 1. Sounds good. Is that type 1? Yes, it is. Armor class 4, and he also has a basic targeting computer that he can make use of, which gives him a focus in blaster pistols. And that is it, I believe. I could put the flamethrower on him, but again, I don't think so. Alright, we have the best energy shield. That means I can get rid of one of these energy shields. I can get rid of one of those type 1 platings whenever we get back to the Enclave. So he's all kitted out here. So let's go to our party selection screen, remove T3, and we'll add Canderous back in. Canderous has leveled up.
Yeah?
Because for some reason the game counts it. So we have a Cath Hound as well. I'm going to just level him right now. Counts the, even the time when the characters are away. That'll be going into demolitions and feats. Here's a good question, eh? I could give him toughness, get that maxed out. That's his last ability. I could give him implants level 1 so he can make use of one of those spares that we have. Oh, what level is he? Is he level 10? Something like that. I think I'll give him toughness. No, I don't know. An extra vitality point, even more so than 2-point physical damage resistance granted by improved toughness. So, even more vitality. And it applies retroactively as well, which is fantastic. The implants. I'll give him... What did I used to give him anyway? I probably used to just give him tough... Alright, well, I'm going to give him the final level of toughness, and then next level up we'll give him the implants. And keep going down that until it's filled out. And lastly, probably something like conditioning if there's anything left over. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. And yeah, it's too bad because I could have put a dexterity thing in his head and got him to 14 dexed. Well, that's fine. Everyone okay for equipment? Right, I need to put our headgear back on because we are back out in the open. As goofy as it looks, I try and take it off whenever I'm in cutscene with characters, but it sometimes slips my mind. Forgive me about that. Where did that Cathound go? There he is.
Sure.
Here it is.
Saved. Yeah, the thing is with our force powers, we're never going to be particularly strong at affecting enemies with things, because if you look at our character, like, okay, this is because we're buffed right now, just ignore this, but I was like, why are my stats ridiculous? That's because of Force Valor, Bastila's Force Valor. But Wisdom, it's only 15 with the +2 on there from the Force Valor right now. And my Wisdom, I think, is 12, if I'm not mistaken. That's really not much to affect it. I guess it's she's given us +3 right now. Does she have her level 3 Valor already? Surely not. No, she only has Night Valor. Oh, it does give 3 points though, so even more for... That's really good. Yeah, so I have 12 Wisdom, 12 Intelligence, and 10 Charisma. So the Charisma is how well our spells affect others, I believe, as well as Wisdom. They're both buff the chance to hit on force powers. And I probably won't be buffing them a whole lot more, so our resistances, they're really not going to be as good, or our ability to affect enemies with negative force powers are not going to be as good as, say, Bastila. It's kind of one of the reasons Telemachus doesn't really have the highest of wisdom and intelligence to begin with. That's one of the reasons I made him a Jedi Guardian, in addition to his dueling. Like, he was beating Bastila in dueling while they were sparring, so he would have had to have been at least a Guardian, because they're the ones who are specialized in melee combat to have beaten her. And they're both approximately the same power level. I think. Level 10, yeah. He's like 1 level higher than her overall. Alright, so enough waffling on.
Yes?
We've got a final group of Mandalorians to slice and dice. I'm gonna force speed on, and we're gonna head back to the Grove. We should be right next to them when we come out of here, so that'll be good. Yikes. Guys?
Ah, so this is the meddler. You have caused us far too much trouble for a mere Jedi.
Now this is what I've been waiting for.
I will add your head
Yes.
to those of the other Jedi I have killed, and take yet another lightsaber for my own. Now you will know why the Mandalorians are feared.
Big talk for a tin can. Good thing I brought my can opener. Alright, so... Oh hell, Bastila. You know what? We're gonna take one of these guys out of the equation here. It's gonna be him. Because he has a heavy blaster. I might even put Sherruk into stasis. Screw it, we'll try. We'll try, and we definitely want speed on for this.
Sure.
Alright, so we're taking some damage already. Now disengage. Whoa, was that my attack? Holy crap. Ridiculous. Nice. Ouch. Beautiful. Okay. You're next. Actually. Ooh, yes, choke. Pleases me. Excellent. Excellent. I did not expect that to go so well, but it did. Wow. What a slaughter. Remains on Sherruk. Alright, so here we go. Lots of modded items on him because he has a unique inventory, but the default stuff that he would normally give us are these two lightsabers, this Verpine cardio regulator, and these sonic nullifiers. However, there are also 12 crossguard emitters, 2 yellow long saber crystals, 2 red long saber crystals, 2 violet long saber crystals, 2 greens, 2 blues. Ignore those, we haven't gotten them yet, and it's because I couldn't stick this stuff anywhere else that would make sense. Sherruk is a Mandalorian. I'll give you some context for this. He's a Mandalorian that collects Jedi's lightsabers, so it would make sense that he would have raided those caves a little bit and come up with color crystals, essentially, for a certain type of lightsaber called a long saber, which is slightly longer than the default. It's actually the model that Darth Mack uses when you go and fight him in the final area. So, like, again, I probably won't use these, but all we have to do is stick them into a hilt, and they become the item, the other type of item, which just counts as a... I think it even has the same damage as a regular lightsaber, but we also have these crossguard emitters, so if I want to make a crossguard lightsaber, I can do that as well. So, let's read up on some of these items. We just got a whole ton of them. We got 2 regular lightsabers that Sherruk had that for some reason he didn't use. That's always bothered me in the game, but the one mod that fixes that problem was made by Shem. It was called like Sherruk Attacks with Lightsabers. It buffed his stats out the yin-yang, and it kind of made him unbalanced apparently, so I never downloaded that, and it also required some editing of a certain 2DA, I think, and that conflicted with some of the other stuff I had, so I didn't opt for that. Right, so we got the lightsabers. We've seen those before. We've got a red lightsaber now, spare one. If we wanted to double up, we could. The crossguard emitters. Used in traditional lightsabers, a crossguard emitter allows a standard lightsaber crystal to be directed into 3 separate beams: the main blade and the 2 quillons. An emitter can be installed in any standard single-bladed saber. Neato. Long saber crystals. A faceted crystal used in the construction of the more menacing long saber. It glows brightly with an inner blue light. And that's the same for green. This one and this one we will pretend we don't have yet because we haven't reached the point where we would have gotten these 2 items. We have red and we have violets and we have yellows. I had to stick them all on Sherruk because finding individual custom placeables or custom enemies that drop specific loot is hard in the game, and it would have been a lot of work, so I'll just stick them here. We also got these sonic nullifiers. Damage resistance, resist 10 versus sonic. Not usable by Wookiees. Replacing bulky ear protection. Yeah, for a bulky, bloody VR headset. Let's get the stupid sonic nullifiers. I actually want to see what those look like on. Replacing bulky ear protection, these items make use of newly developed counter-wave nullifiers, an innovation pioneered by shipyard workers, not the military. I suppose to get rid of all the sound that they would hear. We have a Verpine cardio regulator, Fortitude +3. This device regulates the body in distress. With emergency fortitude support for the wearer, it functions so well that some wonder how many bodies in distress the Verpine tested. Okay. Anything else? Does not appear so. So, you're wearing a power belt. Somebody, I imagine, will need that item eventually. But, really bludgeoning damage, we don't run into that a whole hell of a lot either, but slashing damage, yes. So the nullifiers, let's see how stupid these look. And we also have to look at this stupid light scan visor. But, it's better than it was? Question mark. Oh, man. Yeah, the new Oculus Rift is really not looking so good, guys, I gotta say. How does it look on somebody else? Because it does actually have a decent effect. Sonic damage isn't really all that valuable, though, I gotta say. Sonic nullifiers. It doesn't look so bad on Canderous, maybe?
I'm here.
Huh?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't think so. Bastila, how about you? I want to make you... She can't even use them. Why? Why? Armor proficiency light. What? Why, though? Why, though? That's odd. She can use Davik's visor. It's kind of cute on her. It looks like a hairband almost. Not that it's of any use, so forget that. Maybe once we find another piece of headgear like that. Yeah, everyone just gonna... Okay, so the light scan visor, what does that look like? Yeah. Maybe on Karth, maybe with his green armor, we can give him that, but looks pretty stupid, to be honest. I don't like the... You know, I'm contemplating going back to the invisible headgear mod, because
What?
even with the stuff on their head, it just doesn't look all that good still. So... An advanced repair kit. Nice. Anybody else have anything they want to share with me? You, 53 credits and a repair kit. I see this bag is probably the one from before, but I'll check it anyway.